Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh! Are you kidding me? And gone!
Welcome back to Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank Podcast. On this podcast, Lane Frank, we're now at episode number 27. We're 27 episodes through. There's a lot to get through in this episode. The Sweet 16 is set. NFL free agency was awesome. Still going on, heating up, and so much more. That's extravagant, awesome. Episode number 27. Stay tuned for Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank. Now, let's start with episode number 27, how we always do, with our headlines. But in the NBA, LaMelo Ball broke his wrist and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. It sucks. He's probably not going to win Rookie of the Year anymore. It's terrible. LaMelo Ball has been spectacular to watch this season. Spectacular. One of the best rookies in a long time. He's been amazing, LaMelo Ball season, but he's going to go down. He's probably going to miss the rest of the season. Anthony Edwards, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year now. Emmanuel quickly has a chance if he can show out for the rest of the season of the Knicks. He did get a starting role now. So, LaMelo Ball has gone down with an injury, and so many other star players have gone down with injuries. LeBron James is going to be out for like a whole month. The high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains are bad. Remember, Jimmy Garoppolo was out the whole entire season with the high ankle sprain. Not saying LeBron's going to be out 17 weeks, but, it's just, let's see how this Laker team is, because without LeBron and AD, this is a bottom 10 team in the NBA. I said they're a bottom 10 team in the NBA without LeBron and Anthony Davis. They just are. All right, who do you get? Kuzma, he's going to be your leader. Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell. Come on, all right? This Lakers team, they want that top seed. These bench players who are going to be starting now, they need to step up. Taylor Horton Tucker, Alex Caruso, a bunch of these guys need to step up for the Lakers to maintain that number one seed. But let's move over to college basketball now. Well, the Sweet 16 is set. We had our March Madness special last episode. Awesome owls. And only one Big Ten team is remaining. And guess who it is? My Michigan Wolverines. I was watching that Michigan LSU game. It was awesome to watch. I watch every Michigan basketball game. We're going down a lot early in the game. And you know what that game reminded me of? In 2018, the year Michigan went to the national championship. The round of 32, they played Houston. Jordan Poole got a game-winning half-court buzzer beater to win that game. Obviously, there's no half-court buzzer beater in this game, but it was like that because Houston had a star in Rob Gray who would make every shot. He had 30 points in that game, and same with Cam Thomas. He made literally every shot. He had 30 points in that game. LSU was all over the court, but Michigan shut down Cam Thomas in the second half. They did. He still got some buckets, but, Trendon Watford didn't really have that outstanding of a game. Hunter Dickinson was a beast. Eli Brooks looked like he wouldn't miss it all. Tron Brown had 21 points off the bench. Michigan has been going off in the tournament so far. They're moving on to the Sweet 16. They're going to play Florida State on Sunday. I'm excited for that game. But the Sweet 16 has been awesome as of late. My champion, who I predicted in the last episode, was Illinois. And they got bounced in the second round by Loyola Chicago. Oh, goodness. I don't know why I picked Illinois to win the national championship. Right now, when I picked Illinois to win the national championship, if it was an Illinois-Michigan national championship game, I would have rooted for Michigan. I always root for Michigan in every game, even if my bracket got bounced. It's terrible now. But, Illinois, a lot of upsets. Oral Roberts beat Ohio State. Oral Roberts is in the Sweet 16, the first 15 seed to make the Sweet 16 since Florida Gulf Coast a couple years ago. March Madness so far has been awesome. Maybe one of the best March Madnesses ever. This is probably the best March Madness I've ever got to witness. It has been. I'm not kidding. March Madness has been awesome to watch this year. No debate about it. Let's move to the NFL now, where free agency has been awesome so far. The Giants, they got Daniel Jones some weapons. They got Dory Jackson on the defensive side. What a secondary that's going to be. James Bradbury, Jabril Peppers, Dory Jackson. That's a great secondary. Then you got Kenny Golladay, John Ross, Kyle Rudolph, Daniel Jones. You need to show out this year. But I'm so happy about these moves the Giants are making. People were freaking out when the Chiefs cut both their tackles. Then they went out and got Joe Tooney. Then they got Kyle Long. They've bounced back from that move. They restructured Patrick Mahomes' contract, Travis Kelce's contract. Chiefs making some moves in free agency. Juju Smith-Schuster announced he's going to stay in Pittsburgh on a huge pay cut when the rival Ravens tried to steal him from their rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, another team spending in free agency is the Patriots. They're spending, and they're spending some more. They get Jonnu Smith for Cam Newton. They get Hunter Henry for Cam Newton. They get Nelson Aguilar. They get Matthew Judon. They got a lot of great pieces in free agency. Jalen Mills. Bill Belichick has never spent this much in his life on anything, I don't think. I mean, they are literally going insane in free agency this year. Not that bad. They're going off in free agency. I did not expect this at all. Not many people expected it. You know when I said Cam Newton, don't buy into the hype. He does this every year and he always has a terrible season. I'm falling into that trap again. I'm kind of leaning into buying into that Cam Newton hype. I hope I don't, but Cam Newton, he's got to have a good year this year. I think he might. But that's about it for the headlines. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Now, top 5. Today's top 5 is top 5 games of March Madness so far. This tournament. There have been so many amazing games. We've seen games like Oral Roberts beating Ohio State. We've seen good games like Houston versus Rutgers where it comes down to the wire. So let's rank the top 5 games in the NCAA tournament so far heading into Sweet 16. Number 5, LSU versus Michigan. I just talked about that game in the headlines. It was an awesome game to watch. We pulled away at the end. Awesome game to watch. High score. That is the 5th best game of the tournament so far. 4th best game of the tournament so far is North Texas over Purdue. Oh, I had Purdue in the Sweet 16. They get bounced in the first round. Travion Williams, what happened, man? Come on. Can't lose to a 13 seed North Texas. The game went to overtime. It was an awesome game to watch. Besides me losing my bracket off that game, pretty much. Well, Purdue, they lost North Texas. Fun game to watch. In overtime, Javion Hamlet went off in that game. He did. That was the 4th best game of the tournament. Number 3, Ohio over Virginia. I actually predicted this game. I said Ohio was going to win. Jason Preston, he had a good game. Dean Vanderplas, he provided a spark for Ohio. And they beat the reigning champions. That's so weird to say. They beat the reigning champions, Virginia Cavaliers. Meanwhile, nobody from that championship team was really even on this Virginia team this year because it seems like the last tournament was like ages ago. But that was the 3rd best game of the tournament to watch so far. Came down to the wire. They clutched it at the end. Ohio. What a game that was. What an upset that was. A 13 seed over a 4 seed, like the Purdue game. 13 seed North Texas over a 4 seed Purdue. But that was the 3rd best game in the tournament so far. Number 2 and number 1, kind of obvious. Number 2, Abilene Christian over Texas. All right, this busted so many people's brackets. I told a Texas fan, I think the game's going to be close. I don't think Abilene Christian's going to win, but I do think it's going to be close. They said, it's not going to be close. There's no way this game's going to be close. Abilene Christian ended up winning. Shaka Smart, you should be fired. I went on Instagram and I said, it is pathetic. Shaka Smart, he had his best team ever at Texas, and he has never ever won an NCAA tournament game at Texas. Fire him already. Fire him. Do it. It's a very desirable job. You can get a great coach. You can. Fire Shaka Smart. What a game that was to watch. Came down to the wire. Free throws at the end. Abilene Christian, they won, beating Texas. 14 seed over a 3 seed. What a game that was to watch. 2nd best game of the tournament so far. No debate about it. And the best game of the tournament so far. Really obvious. Oral Roberts over Ohio State. All right. Who in the world predicted this to happen? Oral Roberts. I knew they had Max Avis, who averaged the most points per game in the country. I knew they had the best free throw shooting team in the country. But I didn't expect them to beat the number 2 seed Ohio State. I did not expect that at all. I thought Ohio State was going to make a run to the Final Four because they had E.J. Liddell, Dwayne Washington. What in the world happened? Oh my. What an upset this was. First 15 seed over a 2 seed since Michigan State collapsed when Middle Tennessee beat Michigan State. Kind of awesome to see that as a Michigan fan. But it also kind of busted my bracket. But that was the best game in the tournament so far. Went to overtime. Dwayne Washington Jr. missed the game winner wide open. It was a fun game to watch. Awesome game. Probably it is the best game of the tournament so far. It is. That's about for top 5 this week. Your thoughts in the comment section. Now, did you know? Today's Did You Know is sticking with college basketball. Did you know Loyola Chicago, that 2018 team with Cameron Crowig, he was a freshman, playing cluster. That team is good. They were tied for the lowest seed ever to make the Final Four. They were an 11 seed. They had a tough path to the Final Four. They had to be a 6 seed Miami. They had to be a 3 seed Tennessee. Then they kind of got an easy matchup in the Sweet 16. They had to play Nevada, also kind of like a mid-major team. They beat them. They made it to the Elite Eight. And Kansas State, kind of an easy team to play also. And they demolished them, making the Final Four. But who'd they get beat by? Michigan Wolverines. But They're tied for the lowest seed ever to make the Final Four. They're an 11 seed. This year, they're an 8 seed, and they do have a great chance to make the path to the Final Four. They have a great chance to make the Elite Eight. I think they have to play Oregon State in the Sweet 16, which is a tough matchup, but never go against Cameron Crowe. Never go against Sister G. Never go against Porter Moser. They're a great head coach. I never thought they were going to beat Illinois. I mean, it's just such an upset that was. What a game that was by Cameron Crowe. What game plan that was by Porter Moser. But did you know that Loyola Chicago, that 2018 team, was tied for the lowest seed ever to make the Final Four as an 11 seed? Leave that in the comment section. Now, let's jump into our NBA rundown. We didn't do NBA last episode. We had our March Madness special. Let's jump into our NBA rundown. Now, the first thing I want to get off my chest is the Nets are the best team in the NBA. All right, they have been without KD for what, a month and a half now? James Harden has changed his game. They've got Blake Griffin who dunked for the first time since 2019. His first game as a net. His first points as a net. So, Kyrie Irving, I know he's going to be out for a little bit. But this is so awesome to watch. The Nets just dominating through the NBA. When was the last time they lost against the Mavericks? The Nets, they're the best team in the NBA. I don't care if you're a Lakers fan. You say, well, what about the Lakers without LeBron and AD? All right. Even when LeBron and AD do come back, I don't think you can win a final series against the Nets. Because who's going to guard KD? Anthony Davis. Who's going to guard Harden? LeBron. But then, who's going to guard Kyrie? Dennis Schroeder. And just, the Nets are the best team in the NBA. I don't care what you have to say about it. The Nets are easily the best team in the NBA. No debate about it. Now, let's go across to the other New York team. The New York Knicks, my favorite team. They got robbed against the 76ers. And I want to publicly state this. They got robbed. All right. How does that happen? Julius Randle got fined $15,000 after the game for criticizing the officials. How does that happen? I watched that game. It went to overtime. Julius Randle almost made a half-court buzzer to end the fourth quarter. He's their best player. Julius Randle has been an all-star this year. He's been an amazing player this year, Julius Randle. I hope they can get a superstar in the offseason like Devin Booker, somebody like that. Currently Towns. But that's besides the point. The Knicks, they got robbed, all right? It went into overtime, and it was a really, really bad call. They called a foul on Julius Randle, and when they were down by, I think they were down by a point, and maybe it was tied at the time, but they called a foul, and Tom Thibodeau tried to challenge it, and they said, no, you can't challenge it, and they just wouldn't give him the challenge. They went crazy. Julius Randle was so upset. The Knicks got robbed against the Nets a couple weeks ago. Tom Thibodeau was furious. Everyone was furious. And Tobias Harris knocked down 2 clutch free throws. Julius Randle missed the game winner, but the Knicks should have won that game. They got robbed. There was only 2 referees in that game because one had COVID protocols or something. You need 3 referees in the game. Maybe if there was 3 referees, the Knicks would have won that game because maybe they would have saw, Tom Thibodeau challenged it in time, and then we give him that challenge, the Knicks win the challenge, and then the Knicks go on to win that game. That's just what I'm thinking. But the Knicks they got so robbed in that game. The Knicks are my favorite team. They're doing well this year. They're like the 7th seed right now, but they're like a game out of the 4th seed. I'm so happy about the Knicks this season. This team has second-round potential. They do. With guys like Julius Randle, Alec Burks, R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Alfred Payne, Derrick Rose. I think he's coming back. It's going to be awesome. It is awesome to be a Knicks fan right now. It is. But that's not it for the NBA rundown. I want to talk about one more thing. I want to talk about the Warriors and James Wiseman. They took him at number 2 overall, and then that story leaked a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, how they were going to take LaMelo Ball, but they broke their promise to him. They took James Wiseman. It seems like the Warriors are running right now, and James Wiseman is having trouble keeping up with them. That's what it seems like. It does. James Wiseman, he missed his COVID test. He skipped a COVID test a couple games ago, and then he only got to play in the 4th quarter, where he got blown out in that game. Maybe if he played in that game, maybe it would have been a different result. But James Wiseman, I think they should trade him soon. No doubt he's going to be a good player. But I don't think he's anywhere. He's not going to be like, I'm going to be LeBron James. He's going to be, at best, an Andre Drummond, in my opinion. At best. Because he's raw. He's very raw. He's like 19 years old. And, he doesn't have high IQ as a basketball player like Andre Iguodala was. Maybe the smartest on-court basketball player ever. But James Wiseman, he needs to still learn the game a little bit better. They should trade him. Maybe they could get like a Karl-Anthony Towns return, a Bradley Beal, somebody like that. Because if they're going to trade for a superstar, they're going to have to give him up. That's what I think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think the Warriors should trade James Wiseman? Do you think the Nets are the best team in the NBA? And do you think the Knicks make the playoffs this year? Leave that in the comment section. Now, NFL team tracker. I'm going to grade some teams' free agency, what the biggest moves were, stuff like that. The first team I want to grade is the New England Patriots, because they made the most moves. No doubt they made the most moves, but did they make the best moves? Did they get the best players? They should have gone maybe after Kenny Galladay, maybe after Juju, maybe, I don't know. But I'm going to give them, right now, I'm going to give them a solid A. Not an A+, not an A+, but they did make moves, something Bill Belichick has never really done before. They made moves. They didn't get rid of Stephon Gilmore yet. They probably still will. But I'm going to give them an A for now. The Miami Dolphins. Let's give them a B. They got Jacoby Brissett in case Tua, gets hurt, plays terrible. He's a little bit, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, but, if Tua struggles, he can come in, Jacoby Brissett, take over. And they got Will Fuller. He's going to be suspended for a game from his suspension from last season. But that was a great signing. Will Fuller, get a target for Tua. I like that move. I really do. They get that grade for me for right now. Let's move on to a couple other teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they got rid of James Conner. They got Juju back, which is amazing. They did. I'm going to give them a B+ right now. Not too many moves made, but they didn't lose that many guys. I like it. Pittsburgh Steelers, get a B+ for me right now. The Baltimore Ravens. All right, the Ravens, Deshaun Watson and the Texans. You know how he's always been complaining how he wishes they would get him more targets and stuff like that. Well, Lamar Jackson, he's not playing for more targets, but the Ravens are trying to get him more targets. They're just not getting any. They tried to get Juju. They tried to get Kenny Galladay. They tried to get all these big-time NFL free agents, but they couldn't get them. They're trying to get them, though. They have a meeting with Sammy Watkins. Let's see how that turns out. But, it's not like they're neglecting him. They're trying to build their franchise around him. They're trying to get the necessary pieces to build around him. It's going to be awesome to see what they do next season. I'm excited for this Ravens team, see what they do next year. But let's move to another team, the Las Vegas Raiders. What are they doing? All right, what are the Las Vegas Raiders doing? They cut all their O-line. Come on, they lost Nelson Aguilar. John Gruden, do you want to be fired? Mike Mayock, do you want to be fired? Come on. I mean, Russell Wilson has probably removed you from his trade destinations list. He said one of his top 4 teams with the Raiders, not anymore, because the only reason he wanted to go there was because of the O-line. They cut their whole entire offensive line. Now, one of their offensive linemen went over to the Arizona Cardinals. So let's grade the Arizona Cardinals now. I give them an A. A lot of people are too harsh on them. J.J. Watt, they got him. Amazing signing, amazing. They got A.J. Green, amazing signing, amazing. They got a lot of good pieces. They got Rodney Hudson. They got Matt Prater, good kicker. This is what this team needs, all right? It is a lot of good moves. You need a kicker in the NFL. I mean, Zane Gonzalez lost them that Dolphins game last year. Matt Prater probably won't lose him a game this year. He's probably going to make one of the best kickers in the NFL, Matt Prater. They got a lot of good signings. I'm going to give them an A. What moves they made? They made amazing moves. They did. Now the last team I want to do, the Chicago Bears. A lot of people are saying, what are the Bears doing? The Bears are the worst franchise in the NFL. Fire Ryan Pace. Fire Matt Nagy. Fire everybody because they got Andy Dalton instead of Russell Wilson. I'm not going to say the same. I'm not going to give them an A+, but I'm not going to give them an F. I'll give them a D. Close to an F, but they're not terrible. Andy Dalton is a big step up from Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky. Say what you want to say. He is, all right? They couldn't get Russell Wilson. They're still trying to get Russell Wilson. What I think they should have done, because the 2 stars that they gave up for Russell Wilson were Kyle Fuller and Akeem Hicks. They should have gave up Kyle Fuller and maybe like Roquan Smith, Kyle Fuller and Khalil Mack, because it's kind of easy to get pass rushers in the draft. You can get a good pass rusher in the second round. I don't know. They can get good pass rushers in the NFL. This is a good pass rusher. Draft Jason Oweh. Maybe they could get him. Azeez Ojulari in the second round, who I love. They should have gave up Khalil Mack and Kyle Fuller. 3 first-round picks for Russell Wilson. I think that trade might have gone through. I think it might have. Khalil Mack is kind of towards the end of his career. So I'm going to give them a D for now. They kind of went into the pay mode. Taking up Andy Dalton. But that's what I think for the NFL Tracker. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. What are you going to give the Cardinals? What are you going to give the Raiders? What are you going to give the Bears? Probably an F, but leave that in the comment section. Now, the Sweet 16 is set, but a lot of shocking teams. It's a lot of teams that's shocking out there in the Sweet 16. It is. So, let's rank them all. Number 1, Gonzaga, number 1 seed. No debate about it. The number 1 overall seed, Jalen Suggs, great player. Drew Timme, great player. Corey Kispert, great player. Joel Ayayi, great player. Number 1. Number 2, Baylor. They're a good team. Masioti, Jared Butler. They are second best team in the Sweet 16. Third, my Michigan Wolverines. And right now, my national championship pick is still, or it is Gonzaga, but I do have Michigan making the Final Four like I did in episode number 26, our March Madness special. But Michigan's the third best team right now in the Sweet 16. Number 4, the Houston Cougars. I'm putting them above Alabama. I am. Because this team, they can rebound. They missed a free throw and they got a rebound. They made a 3. They're the best rebounding team left in the tournament right now. They're maybe the best rebounding team in college basketball of all 315 teams. They might be. They've got shooting. Quentin Grimes, great player. Giroux, he got hurt in that game. He came back, and he was lights out. Amazing. He had a crucial 3. They went on a crazy run to beat Rutgers. But Houston, they're the 4th best team in Sweet 16 right now. Number 5, Alabama, play great defense. They've got probably the best 6-man in the country right now, Javon Quinn-Early. Yeah, I like him a lot. Number 5, team in the country, but I think their road ends in the Elite 8 losing to my Michigan Wolverines. Number 6, the Arkansas Razorbacks. I didn't think they would get this far. I picked them to lose in the round of 32 at Texas Tech. But they made the Sweet 16. They're going to have to go up against Oral Roberts, so they might make the Elite 8 now. But you never want to count out Oral Roberts. Arkansas is the 6th best team in the Sweet 16 right now. Number 7, USC. Oh, goodness. USC, you demolished my bracket. I picked USC to lose in the first round. They made the Sweet 16. I did not think they would beat Kansas. Nobody thought they were going to beat Kansas. The Mobley brothers, amazing. Kansas, they went down a lot against UTEP a couple weeks ago. They went down by 15 at the half, and they came back. They went down by like 10 at the half against Eastern Washington. They came back. They went down by 19 at the half against USC. I thought they would come back. They lost by 35, something like that. Kansas, Bill Self, what in the world happened? David McCormick, Christian Braun, Jalen Wilson. What happened? USC, great team. They are. Evan Mobley, going to be a tough pick this year. But the other brother, Isaiah Mobley, they've got the Mobley brothers. They're amazing this year. They are USC. The 7th best team in the Sweet 16 right now. They are. Number 8, Florida State. I've got a 6 seed over a 4 seed right now. Florida State, they're going to have to play Michigan in the Sweet 16, and their road ends there. Leonard Hamilton, he tore his Achilles before tournament. They didn't want to go full Ron Hunter and go in a chair. A couple years ago, R.J. Hunter, Ron Hunter's son, yeah, crucial buzzer beater to beat Baylor as a 14 seed, and then Ron Hunter fell off his stool. But Leonard Hamilton doesn't want to do that. So that's Florida State. This isn't Leonard Hamilton's best team at Florida State. It just isn't. Last time Michigan played Florida State was in the Elite 8 a couple years ago, and they beat them. I went to that game. Michigan, they're going to beat Florida State. And Florida State, good team, but they're the 8th best team in the Sweet 16 so far. Number 9, Oregon. Chris Duarte, lights out. They beat Iowa, like I predicted. Good team. Number 10, Syracuse. Buddy Boeheim, lights out. Joe Girard, lights out. They can both pull up from half court. This team's amazing. One of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. Number 10 right now. Number 11, UCLA. UCLA in Sweet 16, Johnny Drew Zhang. I picked them to make the round 32. Not the Sweet 16. I thought they were in the round 32. But they're in the Sweet 16. Good team. Jaime Jaquez, good player. They're 11th best team in Sweet 16 so far. Number 12, the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. I'm sorry, Sister Jean. I'm sorry, Porter Moser. I'm sorry, Lucas Williamson. I'm sorry, Cameron Krutwig. You're the 12th best team in the Sweet 16 so far. I'm sorry. You are. Number 13, Oregon State. Oregon State, another Pac-12 team. They're in the Sweet 16, and they've actually exceeded expectations. I picked them to lose in the first round. They didn't. I picked them to lose in the second round. They didn't. Oklahoma State got bounced by them. They're in the Sweet 16, Oregon State, and I didn't really think they would be as a 12 seed. They are 13th best team in the Sweet 16 so far. Number 14, the Creighton Blue Jays. They're a 5 seed, but I'm sliding them all the way down to 14 right now. I'm sorry. You're a good team, but you made the Sweet 16. You're going to lose to Gonzaga, and you're going to get blown out by them. I'm sorry, Marcus Zagorowski. You've done well. I said you would match up well against Jason Preston, which you did. I said you would match up well against UCSB, which you did. But your road ends here. You're going to lose in the Sweet 16. You are. Number 15, Oral Roberts, just like their original seeding. Number 15 seed. I hate to count them out, but I am. Max Apis. Got good players on that team. They are. They do. Great shooters. But they're the 15th best team in the Sweet 16 so far. No debate about it. Number 16, Villanova. You're thinking, Villanova's the 16th best team out of 16? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they are. Nobody thought they were going to make the Sweet 16 because they got an easy road. I picked them to beat Winthrop, and they beat them close. All right, that was sort of expected. And then I thought they were going to have to play Purdue, but they got lucky, and they had to play North Texas. If they played Purdue, I think they would have lost to Purdue. But they blew out North Texas. They're in the Sweet 16. Jay Wright. A Jay Wright team's not going to lose to Winthrop. They're not going to lose to North Texas. Yet, I think their run ends here. It is. They're going to lose to Baylor in the Sweet 16. The 16th best team in the Sweet 16. No debate about it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Who is the best team in the Sweet 16 and who's going to win the national championship this year? Leave that in the comment section. Now, let's do something we haven't done in a while. My favorite 5. And we haven't done this in a very long time. My favorite 5, today's my favorite 5 is my favorite 5 basketball players to watch right now. Let's hop right into it. Number 5, Steph Curry. It seems like every time he shoots, it's going to go in. He's hurt right now. Tailbone injury, but great player. Steph Curry, great player. Awesome to watch him. My 5th favorite player to watch in basketball right now. Number 4, Damian Lillard. If you asked me this after the All-Star game, I would have probably said number 1 because he's just awesome to watch in All-Star games. But I'm pulling up from the logo. He's just so exciting to watch. Spectacular. Exuberant. Number 4, my 4th best player. My 4th favorite player to watch in basketball, Damian Lillard. Number 3, my 3rd favorite player to watch right now in basketball is going to shock a couple of people. James Harden. He is. He's awesome to watch. Watching him dish out the passes. Shoot the ball. He's amazing. He's changed his game this year from just scoring. He's passing now. And guess what? Something that hasn't been really talked about a lot since he's gone to Brooklyn is he's back with Mike D'Antoni, his former head coach in Houston last season. Nobody's really talked about that. Really, no. James Harden, great player. My 3rd favorite player to watch in basketball right now. Number 2, Buddy Boeheim. I never said it had to be NBA. I said basketball. Buddy Boeheim is awesome to watch. He's pulling up from like half court, making every shot. It seems like every time he shoots, it's going to go in. What a game he had against San Diego State. What a second half he had against West Virginia. Buddy Boeheim, awesome to watch. He and Joe Girard pulling up from like half court every time. Every time they shoot it, it seems like it's going to go in. Great team. 11 seed making the Sweet 16 in Syracuse. They're a great team. Buddy Boeheim is my 2nd favorite player to watch in basketball right now. Number 1, gonna shock a lot of people. Very biased pick because it's my favorite players to watch. Julius Randle. I love watching him play. When they played the Sixers, I talked a lot about that game in this episode. It was with 5 seconds left in regulation, down by 3. You need a clutch 3. And he was kind of getting like double teamed, then it bounced off, and looked like Tobias Harris was going to steal it for a second. And he just pulls up, and then it bounced up in the air, the shot, and I was like, oh, they lost. And it floated back in. It did. Julius Randle, so exciting to watch. He gets triple-doubles a lot now. Julius Randle, so awesome to watch. My favorite player to watch from basketball right now. He is. He has been awesome this season. He's been spectacular. He has been amazing. Everything the Knicks needed. Tom Thibodeau player. I love it. I really do. My favorite player to watch right now in basketball. Who's your favorite player to watch in basketball right now? Leave that in the comment section. Now, the best for last question today. Today's question today is we talked a lot about NFL. We talked a lot about college basketball. We talked a lot about NBA. So, who won the NFL free agency this year? I think it was the Arizona Cardinals. I do. My Giants, they had a great free agency, but they're probably they had top 5 free agency team. They great free agency. Well, Cardinals did insane. Who won NFL free agency this year? Leave down in the comment section. That's about for question day this week. That's about for Schoolyard Sports with Lane Frank, episode number 27. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow Schoolyard Sports on Instagram. Don't forget to follow Schoolyard Sports on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review for the best sports content in the world.